Today we've traveled to Line Hill Mound in Butler County, Ohio. This location is known as being a earthwork structure possibly created by the Adena culture. So we're going to take a look around, follow some of the trails, and see exactly what we can get into. We soon realized that most of the mounds in this area are in a state of serious disrepair and unable to be observed this time of year due to being located in dense vegetation. The weather has started to turn on us, but we've decided to push on and begin our journey through the entrance of the park. Right past the entrance, to the right, as soon as you enter the park, is this really cool old barn. So we decided we'd take a quick look around, see if there was anything interesting over here before we journeyed on into the park proper. This turned out to be a pretty good idea since the rain started to fall in earnest, and we could take some quick shelter under here until the bulk of the rain passed. The rain has slowed down, so it's time to get back on the trail. Let's get into the entrance to the park. As you can see, there was ample parking on this very cloudy day, so we had no problem having the entire park to ourselves. We went ahead and started down the Earthwork Trail, 1.2 mile loop. Let's see what we can find. The trail here at Line Hill Mound starts in a pretty cool meadow area. There's all types of wildflowers and that type of thing, especially this time of year. It's pretty much the middle of the summer right now. And the only documentation that I could find on the park indicates that as soon as we start to enter the tree line, the only remaining mounds that you can actually see are to the right side of the trail. However, due to the overgrowth of vegetation, they're almost impossible to see, especially on video. So that's kind of unfortunate. And since we can't actually see the mounds themselves, that kind of takes away from our purpose of our trip quite a bit, since we made this journey based on our interest in ancient archaeology, that type of thing. However, we were greeted by a really unique trail system. As you can see, it's almost like being in some type of Old English enchanted forest with all the different trees and growth actually growing over the trail in a lot of places, and it kind of feels like you're in a maze of sorts, and it's actually quite easy to get lost back in this area. And as you're walking around, you'll see where people have put markers on the ground to kind of direct you back onto the main trail from off of some of these side trails. Really cool place. There's also a really unique, diverse set of trees and stuff like that in this location. It goes from just like a normal Midwestern forest to a more like a specific like pine forest in this area here. So kind of cool. They're still working on building bridges in some areas, but you know, we'll make do. At this point, we're relatively deep into the woods, at least for a park that's right off of a semi-major roadway. But the weather started to turn on us again, so we're going to kind of have to pick up the pace. Not all the trails here are wide open and distinctly well groomed. A lot of them are these little side trails like this, where you can feel like you're even deeper into a more primitive region. But again, you really can't see those mounds unless you get off the trail, and I really don't want to do that. Another sudden downpour has turned this part of the trail into a little bit of a stream, but we just keep on soldiering on and exploring this ancient area. My personal recommendation would be to visit this location either in the late winter or the fall. I think you'd probably get to see the mounds a little better, if at all. But this time of year, it's just quite frankly not possible. We're making our way back to the car now. Adventure Palm here is a little wore out, and she's a little soaked from another sudden downpour that kind of snuck up on us out of nowhere. We made our way into some cover along the trail. Tried to stay out of it as much as we could. But as you can tell by looking at her, yeah, we didn't do such a great job with that. Time to get back to the car. Another storm's rolling in. Perhaps if we're ever in the area again, we'll stop by here at a different time of year. But as for today, I think we're done. I think it's time to move on, or maybe even go home. We'll see you next time.